easier time.
Oh, I just need to copy and paste real quick. And then I just need to go like this and go pin this comment, and we are live. Okay, let's see if my mic... Oh, I should probably view my stream so I can see what's going on.
I'm going to go ahead and share the screen.
Okay. Okay, there we go.
So if you're now live, then
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and live now.
So, good evening, Portland. I'm Cher. I'll be your host this evening. It is Wednesday, July 29th, and I'm currently in front of the Justice Center off of 3rd and Main. So, it looks like people can hear me, which is great. I will try to trust my mic and not yell at you guys this evening. And so let's get this party started.
Oh, there you are.
So weird.
All delayed and everything.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is delayed. That's so weird. Okay, so we are good to go. So there's currently a decent group down here. Looks like a couple hundred people marched up from the riverfront, led by a bunch of Portland medics. They are, range from ER techs to nurses, doctors. Oh, just getting situated here. Excuse the angle.
Wow, that is... Oh, no wonder.
Is it not on?
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Technology. Oh. Okay. So as with, every night at the protest, it always starts out extremely peaceful, people chanting, sharing stories, dancing, and it's just a beautiful display of unity and community, which is something that this country needs now more than ever. I love the feed. Look how good that looks.
There we are. I told my mom she can join in and ask you questions tonight.
No, totally. Yes, I will definitely try to watch the feed and answer any questions that come up. So,
Want to wander around to that side?
sure. I want to get this here in the center. So this here in the center of the street is where the sacred elk was. It was a large concrete or granite fountain with several water troughs around it and a large bronze elk statue in the center. Earlier on in the protests, people were bringing, scraps of wood so they could make little fires, and it was really beautiful because people were bringing marshmallows and hot dogs and other things like that. Unfortunately, one night somebody added a little too much wood to the fire, and the fire grew so large and hot that it ended up destroying the structural integrity of the fountain underneath. The fountain is okay. However, it was removed by the Portland Historical Society to ensure that it didn't get damaged and no one climbed on it and risk getting injured. So they do say that it will be back. So here are our local medics who have been coming out every night, at least for the last couple weeks, to show their support. And one of the most important groups of these protests is our percussion band that keeps us, motivated throughout the night. I got one. I found part of a munition. So a question was posed, are the feds actually leaving tomorrow? Last I heard, no. Last I heard, they agreed to they agreed to leave at an undisclosed time in order to So the question was posed whether or not the feds were actually leaving tomorrow, and last I heard, they will not be leaving. They said they'll leave once there's no more threat left to the federal building. So it could be a while. You want to go through the park? Okay, let's go through the park. So this is the park in front of the courthouse, the federal courthouse. In front of you is the remnants of Riot Ribs. As many of you probably know, Riot Ribs has been said to be compromised. The original founders have left and are no longer accepting donations. So I have removed them from my my pinned post that that lists a bunch of different organizations that you can donate to if you are looking to throw some money at the cause. I am luckily gainfully employed and do not need donations at this time. So also, over here you can see, we have different tables set up, different, independent groups that are distributing information, whether it be how to protect your rights, or to the right there's a table where you can make your own protest sign. There's also several tents around that are safe places for people who need a quiet place or medical attention. At least until the feds come out. Yeah, once the officers arrive on the scene, the park, really isn't a safe space. But as you can see right now, it totally is. And for those of you who don't live in Portland, who think that, have heard that the entire city is under siege and has been destroyed, I assure you it is only limited to these few, square blocks. Yeah, my mask still has the remnants of some gas in it as well. I should have washed it.
I think I actually am wearing the not washed one now that you mention it.
Yeah. I almost brought a clean one, but it was a tie behind, and I didn't want to have to deal with tying it and untying it.
Want to circle around here and then maybe do a tour of the tents?
Yeah. Ooh, get the care canopy. So see, this is one of those tents I was talking about, where it's just, a nice safe space to chill if you need someone to talk to. And then off here to the left is another, tent. Looks like CTG Streets, streetoutreach.org. Looks like they're either giving away or selling, t-shirts, and they got food, snacks. Now it looks like our medical group is continuing their march. The last several nights they have just marched around the building, making several laps before they finally rest in the street or the park. Oh, geez, excuse me, guys. I did that right into the mic. Oh, God. Whew. Yeah, I definitely should have changed my mask. So somebody commented about, in reply to my comment about how the protest is pretty much limited to just a few square blocks. Trust me, business is as usual, at least as far as, COVID goes downtown. In fact, about a block away, there's a Starbucks that's currently open. So, I know that several businesses did report a lot of damage during that first night or two following George Floyd's murder. However, since then, except for some graffiti, not much else has been done to affect local businesses. So. So for those of you who have recently joined, I am down here in front of the Portland, in front of the Justice Center. in downtown Portland. What you're seeing here, this extremely peaceful gathering of protesters is how the events of every night start. It always starts incredibly peaceful and quiet. And it's not until, officers come out and make an announcement to remind people that, that they should stay away from the fence or obey orders, does the attention get moved away from this peaceful protest back towards, the federal courthouse. So although, there are those people who decide, to exercise their First Amendment right by, vandalizing or throwing water bottles or messing with the fence, they are the minority, and it's really not what they're doing that's setting off protesters.
We saw that preacher dude that was here.
Or it's setting off the officers, excuse me.
Google Maps still routes people through here.
No, last time I checked Google Maps, it shows these streets as being closed. I think right now, because it's still early and there's still traffic, because traffic is normal. It's not like they're rerouting traffic. The bus line is still 2 blocks away and runs until midnight like it normally does. So, in the midst of this protest, life is still carrying on.
Over here, chill, man.
So somebody asked if the Wall of Moms ending will change things. I think that the Wall of Moms was very integral in driving up public support for the protest. It showed the general public that we out here aren't all hooligans and rioters. We're, everyday people. And so it is extremely sad that they, that there was division within the Wall of Moms. And however, I heard that they are reorganizing, and I'm hoping that they come back stronger. However, I think they did what they needed to. They came at an extremely important time in the movement, and we're very thankful for the support that they gave us. So somebody asked if things are going to be as peaceful as they claim if the feds leave. For those of you who have only recently been following what's been happening in Portland, the feds have only been here for about 3 weeks. It was...
Do you ever get the feeling you're being watched?
Yeah. So my cameraman just pointed out that one of the murder holes is open, and there is somebody peeking out watching us. So hopefully it stays that way.
Can you explain what a murder hole is, guys?
So the murder hole are these little windows that they've cut out of the cardboard the plywood in the wall surrounding the courthouse and the Justice Center. So we here in Portland refer to them as the murder holes because usually they're used to throw munitions out at us without them having to leave the safety of their hole. Back to the question that I was trying to answer earlier. If the feds leave, will it be as peaceful as we all claim? You guys have to understand that before the feds got here, we Portlanders were dealing with pretty much the exact same behavior from our local law enforcement, the Portland Police Bureau. And, so once feds leave, if they ever leave, I think that the direction will refocus and go back to the Portland Police Bureau. hopefully it won't be quite as, you know, as aggressive as it has been. However, you know, there's still a lot that needs to be done for, you know, because, you know, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words tonight. You know, this whole thing started with trying to get accountability of the police. And just because the feds came and distracted us for a moment does not mean that we've forgotten about that original movement. And so I think that once the feds leave, things will just change. I don't necessarily know if they'll get any more peaceful or more agitated.
Think there's any value in walking around the federal building just to show how, like, on literally the opposite side there ain't nothing?
Yeah, well, let's see what they did. Yeah, we could.
Or is this pink paint, or is that from the
I don't know what this is. So it looks like pink paint. Yeah, because it's all over the cement as well.
Is it, I know they were using like a UV thing, and
yeah.
also doing I just sworn the cover balls or something had a pink tint to it. Maybe it is just paint.
So so somebody asked a question about this material that's on the fence over here. So it looks to me like this is like spray foam. And so somebody just sprayed a bunch of spray foam into the fence, and I'm assuming that's to obstruct the pepper balls and stuff from getting through.
They shoot the pepper balls and they explode against the fence in people's faces.
Yeah. So somebody asked, does anybody ever have to be at work ever? Well, actually, I just got off work about an hour and a half ago, and I have to be at work at 7:30 tomorrow morning. So, yes. The majority of the people out here have full-time jobs, which is why the crowd always gets larger, in the evening after dinner, because people work, and then they come out here to protest after work. And, the majority of the crowd usually disperses closer to midnight, as I will probably, once again, because we are all responsible adults who have jobs.
I'm sure there's irresponsible adults.
Oh, there's definitely irresponsible adults out here.
Probably responsible adults currently unemployed. No kids, though, not allowed.
I love these signs.
We're all the same color when the lights turn off.
Hell yeah.
We're all the same color when the lights turn off.
So right now it is 8:43 p.m. here in Portland, Oregon. Whew. I gotta say, us Oregonians, we are pretty wimpy when it comes to heat and humidity. We can play outdoors in the rain and the cold all day long, but man, it gets above 70, 70 and with a little bit of humidity, and I start to melt. I apologize to the rest of the country who's watching, who is probably literally on fire from what I heard last time I looked at the news. I've been a little preoccupied with local events. I haven't really been paying attention to everything going on outside. So I'm easily distracted, so as I'm responding to comments, I'm not looking at my phone because then I'll get sidetracked. And so I know that I'm probably missing a lot of commentary back and forth. I just want to take this time to remind everybody to not feed the trolls. I'm sure they're there. If anybody gets too out of hand, please take a screenshot of them. That way I can see their profile picture. It makes it easier for me to look them up later and block them if need be. But also remember that just because somebody has a different opinion of you than you does not mean that they're trolls. You know, the only way we're going to win this battle is through open dialogue and respect. And there's a lot of people out there who aren't racist, who aren't hateful. They're just uninformed. You know, I know plenty of people who, don't necessarily support what's going on down here. And that doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that we have different ideas of how to get to the same goal. But I honestly believe that most everybody wants the same thing. We all want peace, we all want equality, and we all want, we just want our community back. So somebody made a comment about Oregon State Police coming to help. I did read that article, or I did read an article that mentioned that the Fed said that they would start pulling back their forces as long as Oregon State Police and other officers, local officers, stepped up and they felt comfortable leaving the courthouse. So it is very possible that tonight we may see some state troopers. So somebody asked if there's any advice on dealing with the feds and their tactics for those who will soon be dealing with them when they're in their own city. Yes, actually. So, first off, I want to start off by saying that, you don't have to dress any particular way or gear up any particular way to protest. As you can see here, the majority of the people here aren't wearing black, they're not wearing gas masks, they don't have helmets on, However, as I mentioned, usually once the feds come out, it does get a little more heated, and so if you are planning on being on the front lines or sticking around after dark, I would recommend wearing long sleeves, even if it's hot outside. That will help protect you from the CS gas irritation, as well as any fragments that may be expelled when pepper balls are shot. Also, the thicker your layers, the more protected you're going to be against harder munitions like rubber bullets. Do not wear polyester. Polyester melts and burns, and the CS gas that is deployed does ignite. Boots are also extremely important if you're planning on being up front. Something that, if someone steps on you, you're not going to get hurt. Nice and tight so it doesn't fall off. It's easy to run in. Other things that are highly encouraged would be a helmet. A lot of protesters have been hit in the head or face with munitions and had some serious injuries. Some sort of eye protection. You need to have some sort of eye protection, whether it be safety goggles just to help with fragments and other things that they're flying through the air. Goggles, anything that has a nice tight seal would really help protect your eyes against the CS gas. However, keep in mind that there are reports now of munitions actually breaking through goggles and things like that, and the shards of safety glass ending up in people's faces and eyes. So, keep in mind that if you don't have some, construction grade eye protection, you're still going to want to, keep in mind that you're not immune, that you're not completely protected. Another thing that a lot of people have been doing to help protect against munitions are carry umbrellas. This helps not only shield the view of other streamers and officers from seeing what's going on if people are, messing with the fence, but it also helps create a barrier to protect against pepper spray, and at farther distances, I'm sure it could also help protect against the pepper balls that they shoot as well. Although those things have some serious velocity to them, and I'm sure that at close range you would go right through an umbrella.
Talking about the pepper balls?
Yeah, a pepper ball would go through an umbrella at close range. I think it's only good to help the spray when it hits the fence.
Well, they're basically like paintball guns. So
Yeah.
the kinds of things people wear for paintballing, that level of eye protection, that level of some sort of helmet, not body armor, but you want something other than your skin to meet.
Meet it. Yep. So I'm sure you guys heard that. Yeah, paintball gear is pretty good. There's people out here that have
Paintball gear, or
motorcycle
any
gear.
Motorcycle gear is generally good.
Yeah.
Or even just the kind of outfits you might wear to a construction site. Heavy denim pants, shirt, safety glasses.
Carhartts. Yeah.
I personally consider gloves, boots, helmet, and eye protection to be critical. You can handle a bruised arm or a bruised leg, whatever, but if your feet are injured, you're not walking out of there.
Yeah.
If your head is injured,
Yeah.
you're not walking out of there. So just
Exactly.
covering the essentials. I think anybody who's used to protesting, the feds use different tactics than the police. They aren't always nice or fair.
I love it. So somebody called me the leader of Antifa.
I thought it was...
Oh yeah.
This is just our secret on the stream. Don't tell anyone.
I can't tell if they're joking or not. I really can't. So somebody asked, what's the best kind of gas mask or respirator to wear? In all honesty, the only thing that really protects against CS gas is a canister cartridge respirator, which I don't think they sell commercially. So really just the thickest charcoal filter you can find is probably your best bet.
It's anything for organic vapors, right? So if it's designed for paint and chemicals, not just the normal
Like
filter,
dust?
harsh dust stuff. Dust stuff won't do it.
It's like a paint mask.
I've been telling people that unless you have a full, proper, organic solvent dust mask, or I'm sorry, respirator, you're just buying yourself time to get away.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said,
Anything less than full gear, and all you're doing is buying yourself an extra minute to get out of there.
yeah, so for those of you who don't know my background, I was actually a chemical operations specialist in the Army. I know it sounds fancy, but really that just means that I've been hit with tear gas more times than I can count. And that was even before, these protests. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, chemical operations specialist. So, really, there really isn't anything other than a military grade gas mask that will truly protect you from CS gas. I believe that anything that you can buy on Amazon or buy online is probably, like my friend said, is only going to really buy you time. But you don't never really build up an immunity or a tolerance to it. You just kind of accept that it's going to hurt, and you stumble off someplace where you have clear air and you curse it out for a little bit, and then you just come back.
Yeah, that's one thing I think a lot of people might not realize about tear gas is that, yeah, if you're in the middle of it, it's brutal.
It
It
is.
really is. But when you're on the edges of it, you'll feel it, and it burns and it hurts.
Yep.
But you'll learn that you just need a couple of minutes of air, and you'll feel brisk and fresh, like a good toothbrushing, only your face
Yep.
with peppers. But
So somebody, I'm not even gonna dignify that with
have you
an
been
answer.
around this vomit gas yet?
No. Okay, so that's something to talk about. So a lot of people, because of my chemical military background, have asked me about this vomit gas. This is the first time I've ever come in contact with it. Actually, or that I've heard of it outside of Standing Rock. I know that Standing Rock, they used a similar munition, a similar chemical gas. I don't really know much about it other than just what I've read online and what people have shared with me. But from what it sounds like, those people at Standing Rock who were exposed to this chemical gas for prolonged periods of time, some are claiming that they have had, excuse me, long-term health complications, including getting cancer. Like I said, I don't know the validity of those claims. I've only recently, the last few days, been reading up on it. But I am not, I try to stay upwind. I do not have a gas mask. I don't have riot gear. So I try to keep a safe distance.
That might be a really good thing to share with the audience, is just how important wind is at not letting
Oh, yeah.
the gas get the best of you.
Yeah, so the last time we were out here, what was it, Saturday? There were a bunch of people with bubble machines. There were a bunch of people with bubble machines, and it was awesome because not only did it bring a very lighthearted, excuse me, feel to this like chaos that was going on around us, but it also helped show everybody the wind direction, which down here in the city, switches every once in a while as it blows around the different buildings. And so, so for those of you who are looking for a non-confrontational way to really help protesters, invest in a bubble machine.
And that's how Portland protests.
And that's how Portland protests.
With bubbles.
Excuse me, guys. Yep, just a reminder, don't feed the trolls. You know, if somebody is being extremely combative, overly racist or hateful, please just take a screenshot showing their name and their profile picture and privately message me through Facebook, and after the feed's over, I'll go back and find them and block them if I don't catch them while they're in here. However, also please keep in mind that those people who may disagree or ask questions that you may think, well, duh, be patient with them, because the only way we're going to win this battle is through open communication, and you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Although I don't know why you'd want to catch flies at all. That just doesn't make sense to me. But
Better there in vinegar than in your kitchen.
So people are concerned because I was coughing. Other than the protests, where everybody is wearing masks, I don't leave the house. I haven't even been grocery shopping in over a month. So I work from home at the moment, as do many other people, and so I am not concerned that I have COVID. My scratchy throat just came up like a few minutes ago. Probably just something I walked through. So So I appreciate your concern, but no, I don't think I'm sick. So somebody asked if we've heard any more news from the Eugene protests. I have not. Yeah, I've been pretty, pretty focused on local events here. I try to keep informed and share what I can, but
I'll tell you what Seattle's been dealing with this conversation.
yeah.
Just the way the police attack and push theirs.
So, all right, well, you want to walk back around? Hi, iFly. So I'm hoping that tonight stays relatively peaceful. There's definitely a large media presence here. I've seen several professional, mainstream news agencies out here. I assume that's probably due to the confusion earlier today about whether or not the feds were actually leaving. Our governor claimed that she met with Mr. Wolf, and they agreed that the feds would start leaving starting tomorrow. Shortly after our Twitter-in-chief got wind of that, he of course said, "Heck no, feds are staying," and of course Wolf changed his his opinion. So I assume that's why we have such a large professional media presence out here tonight. As for oh, looks like we have the sound system up.
Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. What's her name? What's her name? Say her name. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, that.
Na
Na na na na. Hey hey hey.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Goodbye, feds. Na 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 na.
This poor guy's voice. He's been out here every night.
Goodbye, feds. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. George Floyd said, "Mama." George Floyd said, "Mama." And then after he said, "Mama," he said, "Officer, I can't breathe." He said, "Officer, I can't breathe." And after he said that a couple of times, he said, "They gonna kill me, man. They gonna kill me, man. My stomach hurt. My nuts hurt. My neck hurt. Everything hurts. Mama, mama, officer, I can't breathe. Officer, I can't breathe. Black Lives Matter! Bitch, go home! 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 Make some noise! Make some noise!
Yeah, so right now we're in front of the Portland Police Bureau and the Justice Center. The federal courthouse is the next building over.
That these bastards is gonna leave, so we might as well celebrate if they leave or even if they don't. It's all about the people. I'm gonna get a mic to my boy and let him get this started for y'all. The moms should be on their way. Like I said, we're gonna have a good night.
Portland, we have now made history yet again. Yet again. Y'all told me y'all was coming back the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
Goodbye, Johnny. That was uncalled for.
And the next day, and the next day. And y'all did it. Y'all did it. Y'all came back at least 60,000. That's amazing.
That's word to my mother.
So, I don't know, I'm still asking. Do y'all think they're going home? Huh? No? Raise your hand if you don't think they're going home.
We ain't going home.
Yeah, try not to engage with the trolls. And I already got rid of Johnny. Yeah, you know, I'm all for different opinions and respectful dialogue, but I have no patience for full-out racism. Racism and hate just has no place. That's not opinion. That's just despicable.
Like I said, I just want to say thank you for everybody that come out. Those who are new, come here to learn something.
So I know that a lot of people, you know, a lot of people have commented in the past that, you know, these speakers, oh, they just say the same thing over and over again. What are they actually doing? What are they saying? Do they just want to hear themselves talk? No, these guys have been out here every single day. And, you know, my cameraman is looking at the speaker at the moment, but I'll get him to pan around here in a little while and show you how captivated all the people are. You know, all the people that came down to the protest, they now have something to look at and to rally behind. You know, the more the more that's going on, the more we captivate people's attention and they stick around longer. So all of this chanting has a purpose.
It's us moving with meaning. This is exactly what movement is. I'm proud of you for everything that you have done and you continuously do. For not only me, but for yourself. Because you can see, just like I can see, that as soon as they're done with us, they're going to pick on you. They're going to turn it to you. We are all the same now. We are human. This is no longer a political issue. This is no longer a Donald Trump issue. This is no longer a PPD issue. This is no longer a Fed issue. This is our issue. If we keep continuously let this go, it's our fault. If we don't stand up, we don't come together. We stay too far back. Those in the back make us weaker. Come forward and we fight together. They can't get through this. We put cars there so they can't get through it. We put people here so they can't get through it. It's our turn now. It's our turn.
So somebody asked, serious question, how do you pee? There are no bathrooms down here. Well, there used to be. There were public bathrooms in the park. However, they've never been the cleanest. And now they've just been completely, screwed up. So I don't. I purposely keep myself just a little bit dehydrated so I don't have to. However, if nature does call and I can't wait till I get home, I do have a handy-dandy cardboard funnel that allows me to pee standing up like a guy. So I could always try to find a bush if I really needed to.
If they don't leave at night, they're going to wish they left. Moms, make some noise!
So it looks like the moms are coming in. So the wall of moms, regardless of the division that's been going on with them, internally has shown up. Looks like they just marched from the waterfront. So yes, for you ladies that have never heard of a P-mate, P-E-E-M-A-T-E, it's the most amazing thing ever if you're camping or going to a festival. Cher needs a sheepy, yeah. Yeah, I like the cardboard ones because they're disposable. The idea of holding on to something I peed in and taking it home and washing it, just I'd rather not deal with it. Oh my God. So it looks like somebody just made a comment saying that Trey Stewart, which is one of the more well-known streamers here in Portland, He was down in Eugene, and apparently he got beat up by the cops and is on his way to the hospital. So I do not know Trey personally. I've waved to him a couple times, said hello to him while I'm down here. I follow his streams. But my heart goes out to him. And yeah, please keep us posted. So this is Portland, Oregon. We are currently in front of the Justice Center. The federal courthouse is the building next to us. Oh, it's not Trey. Trey's Gigi. Oh, okay, got it.
Other than Chicago in every other state. I mean, in every other state, it seems like the protesting is dying down. But in Oregon, hell no, we won't go. 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 Because we refuse to get pushed over. We refuse to get bullied. We refuse to tolerate injustice. We will stand until you learn how to give us our constitutional rights back. Hell no, we won't go. 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 Hell no, we won't go.
How many people do you think are here? Like 1,000?
It's hard to see. I would guess around 1,000.
Around 1,000? So, 1,000 people, that's not a bad turnout for a Wednesday. Like I said, the majority of the people out here, myself included, are fully, have full-time jobs. And so that's usually why we don't come out until later. It's not because we only want to protest in the dark. It's because we work, and then we get off work and we have to eat, and then we come down here to protest, and then we go home around midnight and wake up and do it all over again.
Because we got to hear the equality for our race. We got to get it with the government. We got to get it with these stores that's been embezzling from us. I mean, using our athletes.
So yeah, please don't interact with the trolls. If somebody gets really out of hand, please just take a screenshot. That way I can reference their profile picture with their name, and I can go back and try to block them after the fact if I don't see it. However, keep in mind that not everybody who has a different opinion is a troll. True trolls are only going to be saying really overtly racist, hateful things. Just because someone says, I don't like this, what was that?
Make some noise for realizing that the man sitting
I thought I heard something drop, but I think it's just this can I shoved in my bag.
I think it was just the can too. Yeah, it sounded like a crinkling. Just want to make sure you didn't break anything.
It's crazy that it took Carolyn to figure that out first.
I don't know the names of the speakers, unfortunately. They didn't introduce themselves. But I'm pretty sure they're part of either Don't Shoot PDX or Rose City Justice. Those are usually the individuals who are speaking each night.
That's why every night I say I love you over there, and I really mean it. That's why every night I say this is our streets, and I really mean it. That's why every night I go, I got Pope! I got Pope! We got Pope!
So there's probably, around 1,000 people here tonight, between maybe 1,000 and 1,500. It's a smaller group for, but a pretty decent turnout for a weekday.
I can feel it. Matter of fact, let's do this.
Hey,
one more
Elle,
time.
honey.
All three, I want everybody out here to stop. Y'all ready? 1.
Awesome. So it sounds like Jason Brody may be one of the speakers.
1, 2, 3, stop. Have some power. On time, ready? 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. Now who can feel that? Now let me explain. We got power. Power to people. Power to people. Power to people. We got power. Do you really believe that? Thanks again.
We've got the
Can I
power.
get a yes? Do you believe it? Do you really believe it? We got power? Do you really believe that? Can I get a yes?
Hell yeah.
Are we gonna lose it?
No.
We gonna use it?
Yeah.
Or we gonna lose it? We gonna use it? Or we gonna lose it? We gonna use 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 it? Or we gonna lose it? Yeah, that's better. I want y'all to get that up in your minds and your hearts and your soul. That what I'm saying is, everybody together, we got a special power. I'm afraid that if we don't use it, we will lose it. So let's do things that matter, like right now. Let's do things that matter to change some things right now. You see somebody in need, change that right now if you have the power to.
I love you, David. That was great. Oh, somebody has a bubble machine out. I got to invest in a bubble machine. I love bubbles. I just need one in my backyard. Drive my cats nuts.
We all been out here for a long time, but not long enough. We got to keep grinding. We got to keep staying focused and keep doing things, these amazing things that we've been doing, because this is what we're known for now. Like I said, we're in Templin, and we're definitely making some moves, some major moves as a whole. Thank you.
Donald Trump.
So, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to dignify that with an answer.
For the wall of moms that he's made. Can we give a round of applause for the wall of moms?
Hell yeah. Shout out to the Wall of Moms.
He followed through with his promise. He followed through with his promise to make a wall. Donald Trump has made a wall of moms. And those moms are protecting us from the injustice. They're protecting us from the brutality. They're protecting us from the extortion. They're protecting us from some goons. Goons, go home. Goons, go home. Goons, go home. Goons, go home. Goons, go home.
So I don't know if you can see the bubbles floating in the air, but extremely helpful when the gas comes out.
Go home. Goons, go home.
Right now, they're protesting goons go home.
Them goons is gonna be so tired, they ain't gonna be able to stand up. I mean, we are out here for justice.
So,
We're out here to get justice. And if they don't get
just a reminder, for those of you who haven't heard, the Wall of Moms has been having some organizational issues. It seems like maybe one or two members of the group decided to go rogue and start their own 501c and started collecting donations that weren't necessarily agreed upon by the rest of the group. And so I know that there has been a split with a lot of moms going off to start their own mom group. However, whatever support we can get right now, we appreciate. And the moms have been integral bringing up a lot of public support, for the protests. Because before the moms came, a lot of people just thought all of us down here were a bunch of thugs that didn't have jobs and were just looking for trouble. And once the moms came, it showed everybody that that wasn't the case. So. So, regardless of who the moms are with, you know, we still appreciate them being here. And don't say anything bad about the Walla moms.
Loud up close, you can probably hang back while I go in front.
I'm going to be up against the wall. It will help block the sound. So my cameraman is getting closer. However, in order to not completely drown you out with the sound, I'm stepping away. If the sound starts to crackle or you lose me, let me know. And hell yeah, shout out to a fellow burner.
And we gonna stand up and we gonna stand tall. Because like I've been saying for this whole 60 days, together we stand, divided we will fall. We are one race, and that is the human race. They ask me what I think about the white people joining the Black Lives Matter movement. I said I totally appreciate them. I love y'all. I mean, somebody gotta stick up for
Thank you, Laura. We really appreciate your you being one of those moms. Like I said, you guys have been integral in generating public support. And regardless of what internal organizational struggles are happening right now, don't you dare say anything bad about these moms, man. They are out here protesting along with the rest of us. And if you guys haven't seen photos, they've been putting themselves right in harm's way.
We ain't scared. Are y'all scared? Are y'all scared?
Awesome, Jeff. Another burner.
What's my man's name? What's my sister's name? What's my sister's name? What's my sister's name? No justice! No justice! And we gonna stand until the walls fall down over this. Make some noise! I want to say
Exactly, Lizzie. This, you know, regardless of your opinion on on how these protests are being conducted, you know, it's all comes back to the Black Lives Matter movement and keeping police accountable. I know right now we've been distracted with the federal occupation. And so now it's also a desperate fight for our First Amendment right against a fascist president, wannabe dictator, in my opinion. But yeah, do not lose sight of the original movement.
What they do over there to y'all, they've been doing it to me in my community since the 80s.
So somebody made a comment about, you know, these peaceful protesters should remove themselves, should separate from the rioters. But the thing is that there aren't that many rioters. I mean, there might be a few agitators, but all the BS that you're hearing in the news isn't true. This isn't a riot, regardless of whether or not the officers declare it as one. I've been down here several nights a week for the last couple months now, and I'm not seeing any riots outside of the initial night or two after George Floyd's murder.
Everyone protests according to what they went through, according to what they feel they can do to help the movement, help the lifestyle, help the culture. If you think something that you do not agree with, do not approach it. just feel as if that's not your way to protest. Everybody protests different.
Hear what he said? That's exactly what I've been saying. Everybody protests differently.
Out here is half the equation. The other half is when you go back into your home, when you go back into your employment, when you go back into your world, and you're able to have a sensitive, taboo conversation with those that you know for sure is not hearing it. I challenge everybody out here to have that sensitive topic conversation with people and conclude one or two things.
That was just a firework.
Either you're for love, justice, equality, or you're not. If you're not, just because we got the same skin, don't make you my kin. I'm only rocking with those that say,
Another firework. Small firework.
Y'all be safe tonight. I love all y'all sincerely, genuinely. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Who like that? Who like that?
So somebody made a comment about they read that those that are arrested now have to agree to no longer attend any Portland, any protests in Portland. Yes, that is true. People are being detained. They're not being charged with anything. They're being released, but they're being told that they're only going to be released if they don't participate anymore, which is wrong. that goes against our First Amendment. So it's 100% unconstitutional, which is why I don't think anybody's obeying it. They just find better ways to hide themselves. That was just another firework.
Get it up? You sure about that? Are you sure about that? They ain't no stuff that can rip it up? You sure? Blue Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! And when you jump in the pool,
Hey, Chris.
are you sure
Thanks for joining.
When you boil hot water and put the hand in, it will come up? Are you sure it don't come up? Then who lives matter? Who lives matter? You take that home.
So there was a comment about, how they watch every night. There's definitely a small group of people who are just there to instigate and cause damage. And that's who we should separate ourselves from, or at least people should get them to stop. I agree, there are a lot of people out here, when people start agitating, there are plenty of people that try to stop them. They can either verbally condemn them or actually physically try to stop them. However, you have to be careful not to escalate things any further. If someone's doing something wrong and they won't listen to reason, sometimes it's better just to walk away and let them, feel the brunt of their actions as opposed to starting a fight and possibly, getting hurt. So, but at the same time, just because there's a small group of agitators does not mean that everybody else needs to stop protesting. I think that everybody protests differently. Everybody has their own way of expressing themselves, and whatever vandalism or property damage is done pales in comparison to the violence being taken on citizens. So that's my 2 cents.
I think they're starting to believe it now. I think they're starting to believe it. I think we scared them now. Portland, I think we scared them now. Portland, I think we scared them now. Portland, I think we scared them now. And that's power. That's power. It's power in the truth. And the truth is, Black Lives Matter. And the truth is, nobody else will matter until we realize that. And yes, we're going to say that at times, but guess what? Important to realize that Black Lives Matter. That's why we stand by ourselves with this big crowd every single night.
So somebody, it looks like a fellow ex-soldier, is attacking me for, thinking I should be ashamed for supporting Antifa. I thank you for your service, Scott. And you're totally entitled to your opinion, but I am not ashamed of myself. Just as you were protecting our freedom overseas, I am protecting our freedom right here at home. So.
I don't know what my life will be when I'm hearing this again. My mother died at 34. She never heard you say that. My mother died at 34. She never heard you say that. I got a little brother that didn't make it. He never heard you say that. Black Lives Matter. You don't have to whisper it anymore.
Also, for those who don't know, Antifa is not an organization. There's no leader, there's no secret underground club or secret handshake. It simply means to be anti-fascist, which is exactly what we fought the Nazis, back in, World War II,
That's what it means for those out there that's on the fence.
World War I.
Well, get that. If you don't stop it good, you will be.
We're always so quick to fight oppression and try to give democracy and freedom to people in other countries, but we're so blind when our own freedoms are being taken away. So anti-fascist just means not fascist.
If we don't stop it, it ain't about color anymore. It's about either you go with that system or you're not. Either that system or ours. Our system we have to develop, but this is a great start. Let's build this house on the truth. And the truth is, we all matter as Black Lives Matter.
Thanks, Wendy. I have a lot of practice. Yeah.
I got a question. How many interracial relationships do we got in the crowd? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Interracial relationship. How many of y'all can have babies by somebody black? Okay. So Black Lives do matter. Okay. And those people are human. Okay, so the long tale that black people ain't human, we can erase that. Black people are human, right? Okay, since black people are human, then that only comes to one conclusion. There's only one race. What race is that? The human race!
I'm happy to hear that, Scott. So Scott says he does support BLM, just not the violence, the destruction. I agree. I personally do not condone any kind of property damage or violence on anybody. That's not how I roll. I personally don't see it as productive. However, at the same time, I understand it as a manifestation of the pain and the frustration that the community has felt. So I understand it, I don't condone it, and I do think that the protest would be more productive if there was less of it. But at the same time, if this wasn't such a shit show over here, the nation wouldn't have even noticed. And so, if it wasn't for those agitators, provoking a reaction, an unjustified reaction from officers, you guys wouldn't even know we were here doing this. So, everything has its place. And apparently the property damage has its.
I mean, that don't make us not one race. That only makes us a different place that we was raised and born in. But even though we were shipped over here, they were shipped over there, and they were shipped over there, we all human. And a lot of humans
I don't know the name of the speaker. I'm sorry.
The difference in areas, the difference in culture. But there's no difference in human race. I mean, even color don't make a difference. I mean, color is a word, man-made word. And then that man started naming each color. I'm going to name that one black. And I'm going to name that one yellow.
Eric Greatwood is here.
But that still doesn't
If you guys aren't familiar with Eric Greatwood, he goes by Veteran for Peace. You can find him at Veteran for Peace on Facebook. He's an amazing, objective video live streamer. He's also a veteran, Army veteran, I believe. Military veteran. I guess I don't know his branch.
I mean, they're considered as a robot. Until the people in there understand that, and the people in that building understand this, I mean, they like some aliens, man. I don't trust them. I only trust humans. I don't know what them aliens gonna do to me.
So somebody asked if I can explain the different setting tonight. So tonight is is a typical weekday night. We've actually got quite a bit more protesters than on a normal night. I think it's because of the conflict between Mr. Wolf and our Governor Brown in trying to determine whether or not feds were actually leaving or not. But here, kind of pan over the crowd a little bit. So as you can see, there's at least 1,000 people down here, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000. Yeah, at this point, oh yeah, actually there's at least 2,000 people here if you look all the way down the street. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, if someone had a seizure down the street, like a couple of weeks ago, the medical was trying to come help this dude.
So, but otherwise, this is except for the larger size, this is a pretty representative of what most weekdays are like down here.
No life threat, and they turned him down, and now he got to get brain surgery. I mean,
so somebody asked if I use a poll for live streaming. I am at the moment. So I have a friend who is very tech savvy, who has been helping me the last couple nights with my live streaming, and he's not only very tall, he's got a long tripod as well that he's holding on to. So at the moment, yes, I have a very nice vantage point for all of you because I'm short. So this allows me to move around a little bit more and show you more than the back of people's heads, as opposed to finding a perch and staying there.
He was on his deathbed when he said mama, and his mama was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so much dead from that officer's leader's neck, he could see his dead mother, and he called out for her. And the crucial part about this,
I'm travel size.
kids and teenagers videotaping the whole ordeal. And this country got the audacity to try to stop us from standing up against injustice. How dare you? Donald Trump, get out of office. We are not scared of no food. We don't care if they stay or leave. We gonna stay here. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go.
The viewers support my tall friend with the tripod.
What?
The viewers like the fact that you're tall. You got a nice vantage point.
We won't go. We won't go. We won't go. We won't go.
Thanks, Bradley.
This is why we won't go. Black Lives Matter. This is why we won't
So, just gonna walk through the park here.
why we won't go anywhere. And I know that.
Here, slow down. Nice. So check out some of these awesome signs here. That's awesome.
They had all of it, broke all the records, and then we would be listening to a new song. But it's true. That's why we can keep listening to it. It's a classic. Black Lives Matter is a classic because it's true. It's true.
So as you can see, it's not completely packed. People are doing a really good job of social distancing. Also, like 98% of the people out here are wearing a mask. We've been very fortunate here in Portland. OHSU, who is a prominent medical research facility here in Portland, has done a lot of studies and has not found any spikes in COVID that could be related or, traced back to the protests. So that was just a firework, just a large firework. So just a reminder, folks, don't feed the trolls. People like to say things just to get a rise out of you. They're obviously not here to support the movement. They're just here to heckle. Just ignore them. Sticks and stones. Really, they're just upset because they know their time is ending. The people have spoken, and we will not stand for hate and racism anymore. And they're just trying to get out of the system before they have to, lock themselves back in the closet.
Are those lights up there new?
They are new. So here, check out these lights, if it doesn't blind you or not, but see these giant spotlights with the cages on them up here on the Justice Center? Those are new. We did not have those, at least the last time I was here. I guess you can't see them. Awesome. Oh, there they are, yep. Ooh, those are bright. Well, it definitely makes my job easier. It makes it easier to live stream. So now we're in front of the federal courthouse. As you can see, people are standing out here. The Wall of Moms has started making a line in front of the fence. People are starting to gear up as the sun goes down. People are starting to put on their gas masks and their helmets and put on their long sleeve shirts. I can also hear a sea of squeaky toys. So a lot of people, myself included, have purchased these little pink piggies that squeak. Earlier on, when we were, first doing this, there was a lot of chanting. People were losing their voices. And so the squeaky pigs were a way to make noise and protest without, and being able to save your voice. And I love the fact that here it is 2 months later and they're still in circulation. As it gets later, try not to take pictures of people's faces.
I didn't realizing we were like, at that point the other time.
Almost. Yeah. Let's see. What time is it? It's 9:50.
No, I was thinking about doing a walk up the line. kind of
Totally.
towards the,
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's almost 10 o'clock. The group has only gotten larger. So right now we're, thank you. Thank you, moms. You guys are awesome. Shout out to the Wall of Moms.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. That's what I was trying to figure out, like the proximity still. Everybody.
These women come out here every night, stand in front of the fence protecting protesters from munitions. I have shared several firsthand testimony and pictures of moms who have sustained some pretty serious injuries. Some have been hospitalized, some have just been bruised terribly. And like I said, regardless of what kind of organizational challenges the group is having at the moment, we support every one of them that's out here. That's awesome. Yeah, leaf blowers are something that people have been. Oh wow, that's some fancy.
Yeah, it does a really
fancy
good job of
film work.
reducing the shadows, and kind of getting a good film.
That's great. I love the photographers out here. There are some amazing photos that have come out of this. Sorry, I was just admiring a photo shoot going on in front of me.
We had a technical leaf blower model.
Yep, so people started bringing out leaf blowers. I think that started with the dads. So the Wall of Moms came out first, and once they were brutalized by police, the dads of Portland came out as well, and they were equipped with leaf blowers to blow the gas, the CS gas, away from people. And it worked out so well that there are quite a few protesters out here now with leaf blowers.
And the feds.
Yeah, and actually the feds have their own leaf blowers. I assume that they...
That'd be funnier than G.I. Joe's with like Home Depot leaf blowers.
Right. I'm sure it's something that they...
Oh, hey, friends.
Hey! Funny seeing you here.
Yeah, funny seeing you here. That's fucking weird.
Hey, what's up? Haven't seen you guys in a while.
I know, yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah. Here we are. Like nothing changed.
God damn it. Now it's weird.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy to see like that like Governor Brown saying that they're gonna leave, and then Trump and then the Chad Wolf guy be like, no, we're staying there until
We feel like it's
Until we feel like it's safe, yeah.
Clean the city? Like, what does that mean?
You know what I
Clean the
feel
city?
like? We should totally just not do anything for a few days so they leave and then just burn the place.
That was a joke. Yeah, that was a joke. We don't support any violence. My friends are good people. We mean that in jest.
I'm here on defense. I'm not on offense.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
Exactly. Someone said it's Groundhog Day. It's like, yep.
Oh my God.
Same,
So true. So true.
same night.
You know, there wouldn't be quite such a big crowd out here if they hadn't
Are you
canceled
watching
Burning
your own
Man.
stream?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
my camera's up there, so I
Oregon
can't
Country
see
Fair,
it.
Picking up the
Stop
audio
killing
from
black
there,
people.
too?
No, I got a mic right here.
If it wasn't for those three things.
Yeah, just those three things.
Yeah, Ben helped me get all tech savvy. No more selfie stick for me.
Damn it.
Do you have one or something?
Still fucking tear gas.
What happened to it?
Oh no, I just I upgraded.
Oh, fuck it.
Part of the issue, if,
I got
if you're
Ben.
using the same device for streaming and trying to carry a conversation, then you're always compromising your perspective to
Yeah.
look at the phone.
That's true.
And so, no, she's on a...
Yeah, my problem
really
is
Jeff
I'm so
wireless mic.
short, and so like I'd have my selfie stick, I'd have it up over my head really tall, but then in order to look at the feed or talk to it, I'd have to bring it back down, and now I'm just pointing at people's heads. So
God damn it. There's still tear gas in my fucking mask.
we were doing the same thing when we first got here. We put on our dust mask, and we started sneezing, and it's like, oh man, I should have washed
Honestly,
this.
at this point, it's just like preconditioning.
Yeah.
I should start every night with just a little bit of like spritz. Yeah, at some point here we haven't. I'm not feeling requesting me to helmet up just yet, but
No, not yet. You can always tell. So for those people at home,
Did you guys hear that explosion? What the hell was that?
I think it was just a firework. Yeah, it was just a really large firework.
Yeah. Well, as we were like walking up, we were like,
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, who have never been out to one of these protests, you know, it's you can feel it when the energy changes. Either the feds come out and make an announcement, and everybody starts booing and directs their attention over to the courthouse, or you know, people start banging on the fence. You know, it gets later. That's usually about the time I step off to the side and put on my gear. Ooh, I like this. So right now everybody has their phones out.
Already lost Sean and Dylan. God damn it.
Oh. God, it's so warm. How are you wearing that jacket, man?
Because I'd rather be hot than dead.
Yeah.
Or wounded.
Yes, it is still very hot here. I mean, it's probably only like 75, but us Oregonians, we wilt in the sun.
by 11 o'clock at night or so, we start feeling a little bit of cool breeze.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and right now there's like no breeze whatsoever. The bubbles behind me are just creating a cloud. They're not actually moving anywhere. So hopefully before the tear gas starts going, a breeze will pick up. Take me all the way, I'll never wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. It's 80? Okay, that's why I feel like I'm melting. Take me all the way. Yes, way too hot. I said I apologize to the rest of the country, though, who's like dealing with, you know, a serious heat wave. Is the rest of the country still having a serious heat wave? I can't remember.
holy crap, there's porta potties now.
Oh, there are porta potties.
That's not a big deal. Porta potties now.
Yeah, so my friend just pointed out there are two porta potties over in the park. I didn't notice them earlier. We must have walked by them like 5 times.
It seems like a small deal, but it's...
No, that is a very big deal. I mean, I wonder if, it'd be interesting to know if the porta potties were donated by some, random citizen, or if the city just got sick of people, doing their business in the bushes, and decided to donate some honey buckets. I'm curious. If there's a sign on it. I want to see who's supporting the porta potties. Public restroom. I'm not sure why the city cannot provide a public restroom, but these are open to anyone. Venmo donations at hopes-a-lot. So that's awesome. Somebody donated porta potties. That's great.
The fact that they're rented means that somebody put down a deposit.
Yep.
Which means they have enough trust in the protesters not to destroy them.
Yep.
That's really cool.
That is awesome. See, just one more way that that the community is coming together.
Just the random stickers. I was watching our feed from last time. And just like some of these great views of the back of like crossing lights and stuff. Especially when they started firing off the tear gas and we're like looking for, like, I'm not really paying attention to the camera so much as, not getting hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, found a tree.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem with being tall. Yeah, Eric Greatwood is always, hitting trees and light posts, but he's got like a 25-foot long pole. So.
I like this resourcefulness that's getting around the FAA's drone ban.
Right.
It's like, you got a 20-foot pole.
And I'm like within a couple.
So, for those of you who don't know about this fence, it has gone through multiple upgrades over the last couple weeks. Portlanders have proven themselves to be extremely resourceful. As I've said before, never underestimate a generation raised on dystopian movies. Because this thing now has, This thing now has cement, these giant cement, like roadblocks on both sides of the fence that are actually sitting on a platform that is bolted to the fence. They also came by and welded the attachments that attach each section of fence together. They've welded these things together. And even used additional pieces of fence behind it to help prop it forward so it can't get pushed over. So this is an extremely well fortified fence, and almost every night protesters find a way to knock it down. So it's not that protesters want the feds to come out and play, but I think it's a very it's a very real symbol of the separation between us and them right now, and we are trying to break down those barriers. So.
You guys doing okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and I think this is about the point.
Gonna mask up?
I just don't want to react. What's that?
So, me and my cameraman are now at the north end of the block, right outside of the federal courthouse. As you can see, the Wall of Moms is standing by. People are starting to gear up. So far, except for one or two fireworks that went off a little bit earlier that were shot in the air, there hasn't been anything that could even be remotely construed as aggressive. And hopefully it stays that way. Like, you know, because every night that these feds attack peaceful protesters, it just makes our point for them. You know, they make our point for us, excuse me. So, no, somebody made a comment about the disgraced Wall of Moms. I know that there's been some organizational disputes within the group. However, we support each and every mom that comes down here, regardless of which group they decide to affiliate with.
There's still so much of that powder.
I know, I can smell it. I can smell the powder actually wafting off the fence.
Exactly.
Now that I'm downwind from it.
Yesterday.
So some people in the comments are talking about the fine right now that the city of Portland is inflicting on the feds. So in true passive-aggressive Portland fashion, the city of Portland gave the feds a notice that their fence was set up illegally. They did not obtain a permit, and they are blocking the bike lanes. And so something ridiculous like $500 every 15 minutes is what they're being.
$192,000 last time I heard.
Somebody in the comments says over 300,000. So, but
last
yeah.
time I heard was like yesterday, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so, you know, it kind of sucks because it's all our taxpayer money, but I think it makes a very nice statement that we don't want them here. And you know, they're not playing by the rules, so.
I had read online that, especially with the backing away, you know, you don't want to take your face off of them and actually putting your backpack across your front.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
So that
Extra
you
protection.
have both the torso protection and back away.
Uh-huh.
I never have to fish. Now I can get to my water and stuff without putting my backpack off.
That's a good
See
idea.
how that goes.
So my cameraman flipped his backpack around, so now it's hanging off his chest instead of his back. And it's gonna, you know, give him a little more added protection. It also allows him to get into his bag without having to take it off. So there's another tip for those of you who are thinking about, you know, or preparing to do this in your own hometown.
I mean, I have no idea how it's going to work, so
Yeah.
it's for science. Actually, it's kind of amazing the amount of like force science stuff we've seen here, as far as just refining techniques and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's awesome to watch these people, you know, come back stronger every night with you know, learning from what was, you know, what happened the night before.
You know, it's a little bit like bacteria and antibiotics. I kind of feel like they might not realize this was a breed of super protester that they are. I mean, now when you have moms across the city with gas masks
Yeah.
and like protective body armor, like Portland is ready.
We are ready.
Portland is ready, and they're going to be ready. This is people are going to forget how to stand up, speak for themselves. Oh my gosh, sitting is great.
Oh yeah, have a seat, yeah. So, you know, just a reminder, don't feed the trolls and don't engage in deliberation with people that are just going to get you fired up. You know, if you ignore them, they'll go away. If anybody says anything overtly hateful or racist, and I don't catch it on the feed, please just take a screenshot of their comment. That will give me their name and their profile pic that I can reference. It makes it a lot easier to look them up later and block them, as opposed to looking through thousands of comments. But also remember that those people who have a different opinion than you aren't necessarily trolls. You know, we're out here fighting for everybody's freedom of speech, not just those people who agree with us. And hopefully by being understanding and patient and opening respectful dialogue, we will be able to slowly win over the hearts and minds of those people who might not necessarily agree with what's going on right now. You know, some people, you'll never be able to change their mind, but, you know, I believe that they're the minority. I believe that everybody, you know, or maybe not everybody, but I believe that the majority of people really are good at heart and all want the same thing. We all want equality and peace and justice and accountability, and, you know, we just may all disagree on how to get there. So something to keep in mind when with reviewing some of these comments. Okay. So I've been streaming for about 2 hours now, and for those of you who were here when I started, as you can see, you know, the mood really hasn't changed. Everybody's still being very peaceful. Lots of discussions going on, I believe, down at the courthouse. Or excuse me, the Justice Center. I believe there's still a gentleman on a megaphone talking with people. And so we'll see if it stays like this. Hopefully it will. You know, hopefully the feds they've got to be tired by this point. And I'm sure they'd like a night off. So, you know, and I would like nothing more than to see that happen. So somebody asked what measurables or deliverables are you in Portland seeking as an outcome? That's a great question. Right now, I believe that the main focus is to get the feds out of here because they are unwelcomed, and hopefully,
They keep hurting us.
Yeah, they keep hurting us, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to take this stand and prevent this from happening in other cities, and let our president know that this is still a democracy, even if it's a shoddily run one at the moment, and that they can't do this. It's unconstitutional. Long-term goals, in my opinion, obviously I am no expert, I'm no leader, I'm just an observer. But in my opinion, I think once the feds leave, we will probably return our attention back to the Portland Police Bureau, who was guilty of, you know, these war crimes and unjustified brutality towards protesters a couple months before the feds even arrived. So just because right now we have a larger foe or enemy to fight against does not mean that we have lost hope or lost sight of the original movement. Black Lives Matter is still the underlying movement in all of this, and it's important for us not to lose focus. So I can see this going on if we don't get real changes, like, you know, serious police reform. You know, I can see this going on for a very long time. So, but
Other cities protested, and they got reformed.
they did get reformed.
Portland protested, and they got beaten gas nightly.
Yep.
And there's a lot of Portlanders who say, look, we've been putting up with it worse than anyone. Where's our reform?
Exactly.
The city of Roses, the city of Portlandia. People are getting beaten gas.
Exactly.
They did not compromise with reform. And at this point, I don't think people are going to back down from anything else.
No, I agree. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, in fact, I, as a local, didn't even realize until the BLM movement that Oregon has such a racist history. I read that Oregon was the only whites-only state back when it was founded, and the Portland PB has had decades of history of abuse and you know, unjustified discrimination against people of color. And so it's really hard for us to not see any kind of reform. And so, yeah, I believe that we're going to keep doing this until we see real results.
You know, before I moved here, I kind of assumed that the police would use, you know, like Nerf batons as they eat, you know, organic gluten-free donuts and just like give free rides around to the houseless, right? I had no idea that they were rougher, less tolerant than many other cities.
Right. I didn't think so either, but you know, that's one of the things about, you know, being privileged to be born pale is, you know,
Never experienced it.
yeah, I mean, you know that racism exists, but you know, I never thought that in such a progressive, beautiful, accepting city like Portland that it would be as rampant as it is. And it wasn't until this movement and people started sharing their stories online that I realized how wrong I was and how sheltered I was. And so, you know, all of us, regardless of how supportive or anti-racist we think we are, we all have something to learn. And I'm grateful for the opportunity.
It's one thing to preach it, it's another thing to stand for it. You know, a lot of us, especially here in Portland, there's not a lot of opportunities to not be racist, if that makes any sense.
Right? Yeah.
It's just in our day-to-day lives, there's not a lot of, I don't know, you don't see it so much. But gosh, the things that we've heard, and even just beyond race, the classism and the need to take care of everyone. Policing is broken. It's broken everywhere. It's broken in Portland just like it's broken everywhere.
Yeah, it's a broken city, you know, or a broken system, you know, and I am not one to say that all cops are bad. I believe that there are good and bad people in, you know, everywhere. But the system is systematically and fundamentally flawed, and real reform needs to be made.
I think there's a lot of white partners that are learning about what it means to have their privilege checked with violence.
Absolutely.
There's a whole lot of, as I've recently described it, it's like at night down here at the courthouse becomes a reduced privilege zone.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly having white skin
Doesn't protect you.
doesn't protect you.
And I think that was, yeah, I feel like that was the big takeaway from like the moms when the moms got attacked. You know, they thought that a bunch of middle-aged white women standing in a line would, you know, would protect everybody. And when they were attacked the same way as everyone else, it really opened people's eyes. So.
Being white isn't keeping people out of jail.
No.
White isn't keeping people from getting hurt
Yeah.
or getting shot at. I mean, the difference is that most of us at the end of the night can go home and we're done with it. And
Yeah.
we're realizing that, you know, I was explaining this to my mother earlier, is that for a lot of communities, that there is no going home and being done with it for the night.
Mm-hmm.
That's an anxiety that they grow up with and live with their entire lives. That's an anxiety mothers experience. You know, every day their kids take the long walk home from school or to and from a job in a, you know, that anxiety that our friends and family are having right now, thinking about us down here potentially getting hurt. People that just live with that.
Exactly.
That's their lives. And
Yeah.
it's eye-opening and it's
Very eye-opening.
sobering.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts.
Mhm. Yep. So as people start to gear up, I'm seeing lacrosse sticks. That was a recent addition to like the leaf blowers and the traffic cones and other things that people have used to help you know, control the gas when it's deployed. And I got to say, those lacrosse sticks are pretty amazing because you pick it up and you throw it over the fence.
I suspect there's some talent that comes along with using a lacrosse stick properly.
Oh, definitely. I'd drop it on my head. I'd pick it up and it would just drop on me, I'm sure. I'm so uncoordinated.
You saw that video? The guy caught one of those canisters in midair.
No!
Yeah, one of the feds walks right up to the fence, pulls the pin on one of those big triple chaser CS canisters, tosses it over, just lobs it right over. The cross guy on the other side just grabs it, flings it right back, and it bursts right on the other side.
Yeah, lacrosse sticks.
Yeah, dude, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple of them out here. It's pretty cool.
I don't know if I think that might be like a genuine Portland original protesting tool.
I think so too. You know, I wonder if our buddy was the first one to do it.
Oh.
Because that was the first video I saw.
Oh wow. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to say any names, but
Just
yeah.
people are using whatever
Yep.
their secret ninja skill is. I mean, there's
I've seen tennis rackets, hockey sticks, yeah, lacrosse sticks,
Portland.
leaf blowers. Some guy brought it in. Some guy brought an industrial, like, you know, fan.
Of those industrial fans.
Like a giant orange industrial fan hooked up to a battery pack.
It's the little slingshots.
Yeah.
The little tiny canisters that come out of the grenade launchers.
And they'll throw them back, yeah. Although for those of you watching at home, if you are thinking about joining protests in your local city or here locally, please keep in mind that these CS canisters are extremely hot. If it hits the ground, do not try to pick it up with your bare hands. You better have good gloves because,
Get it off as fast as possible.
yeah.
Got it pretty good.
Ooh, you did, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's one of the reasons why I encourage people to wear sturdy boots, is because in the fray you could accidentally kick one, you could accidentally step on one.
Yep.
Even, yeah.
And so a couple weeks ago, there was one of those canisters that hit the ground, and it actually melted into the asphalt. After it cooled down, some gal came by and tried kicking it for about a minute before it dislodged. And it actually left like a 1/8 inch, 1/8 to 1/4 inch indentation in the asphalt. So yeah, this stuff is serious. Do not wear polyester to a protest. It melts, and those flames have been known to burn people. One gal had her sock melt to her skin. So it just. But once again, you do not have to be dressed for war to come down here. As you can see, there are plenty of people wearing just their everyday street clothes with nothing more than a dust mask. Although, as I mentioned earlier, if the less protected you are, the farther back from the action you will have to stay, if and when things start getting heated. So we're now walking south. The federal courthouse is on our left, and the building up there, up about a block to the left, that's the Justice Center, where there are still quite a few people gathered, I'm assuming listening to a speaker.
Plan ahead, pick snacks that doesn't require 2 hands.
What does that say? Fed cops out of. Oh, it is a stormtrooper. So there is a light projection on the Justice Center, and it is a silhouette of a stormtrooper from Star Wars, and I believe it says "Fed cops out of PDX."
Yeah.
I assume that's what it says is PDX at the bottom. These. Oh, it looks like everybody is moving from the courthouse or from the Justice Center back over to the courthouse. So that means the speakers have shut down for the evening. And so this is about the time of night when some people decide to go home, and other people will,
Come out and tear gas us.
Yep. And so this is about the time where things will start to kind of change. So we'll want to kind of keep an eye on the mood. My cameraman and I will.
Sorry, there's a person of color over there asking for media. It looks like some white folks are about to start a fire. So just letting you know, you had a thing. I don't know if you are media.
Somebody's trying to start a fire?
Yeah, which is pretty common, but there's a person of color asking for media to, I guess, document what's going on. So I saw your camera, but I guess you don't have a press pass, so never mind.
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
So sorry.
Citizen journalists.
Yeah, right on.
Yep. Yeah. So, I am not a thrill seeker. I believe in keeping the, what's up?
I was just gonna say, I'm doing my best, but if you see it pointed at
Something?
yeah, just give me like that motion.
Okay, yeah. So like I was saying, I like to keep the focus on the movement. I'm not one to see a fight or something going on and chase it down so I can get video of it. I think that kind of stuff distracts from the movement. So it looks like, so this is the, right now we're in the middle of the street where the old fountain used to be, where the elk used to be. It looks like people are bringing, dragging over pieces of like plywood and other scrap wood that they probably brought from home, because there's nothing around here. and
Wall of bikes.
it looks like they're.
First line.
It looks like some people are trying to start a fire in the middle of the street where the fountain used to be, and there are a group of people trying to discourage them from doing so. So, like I said, there are people who like to exercise their First Amendment by setting fires or graffiti or throwing fireworks or water bottles. But the majority of the people down here really do condemn it and do try their best to stop it when they can. However, sometimes when people are agitated, there's only so much you can do before you're just going to make it worse. So at that point, you just kind of walk away and let them reap the, repercussions of their actions.
You want to tell people why there's a row of bikes here and the story with the ambulance?
Yeah. So here in front of us, so every crosswalk, every intersection surrounding the protest has a wall of either bicycles, people who are standing, guarding cars and or motorcycles. And this is to help keep traffic from coming through. The cars are to help, I mean, I know that the bikes really can't protect us as much as a vehicle can, but it's a very important job.
A car hitting a bike makes a heck of a noise, and it lets people know something bad is going down.
And they're keeping an eye on the streets, and so if a aggressive looking vehicle starts speeding through town, they'll alert people. So also across the street, you're looking at an ambulance there parked in front of us behind the yellow vehicle. That is a decommissioned ambulance that was purchased privately. Hi.
Hi then. I don't know if you remember chatting with me.
Yeah, I do.
How are you?
Doing good.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's fine.
You guys are live streaming.
Yep.
Under what are you live streaming?
Facebook.
How do I follow? Is it okay? Can I follow?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm actually watching it right there. So it's
Char.
Yep.
Burn. Fab. Char Burn. And who are you live streaming? Oh wow, 387. How long have you been live streaming?
About 2 months.
Since.
Yeah.
Close to the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much. Like after the Burnside Bridge. That's when I started a live stream, and I only recently started making my profiles public though, or my things public.
Well, that was a good call.
There I am.
Oh my god, I'm adding you.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Rad. Okay, cool. I'm doing a piece on like how media is covering this protest. I'm always interested when people have cameras. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you reporting for what's going on? Because it's been covered largely by the people here.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had so many people reach out to me and say, oh, you should get your press pass, you should get your journalist credentials. And I'm like, but I'm not a journalist. I am just one of thousands of people who are out here, live streaming. And
it's great because it captures moments that no one else would ever see and then would never come here.
Exactly.
There's a certain point when you realize that all the media is doing, mainstream media is doing, is echoing tweets and live streams. And, they're when you see, mainstream outlets requesting permission to use footage right there publicly on Twitter and stuff, like you realize you just cut out the middleman.
Buying footage from you?
No, I'm not that popular.
But you're seeing people.
Well, you see it, you see it from other.
Yeah, like Eric Greatwood. I know that he had kind of a legal battle with both PPB and it was either like Coin. I think it was like Coinate or whatever.
Wait, who?
Eric Greatwood.
Eric Greatwood was having an issue with.
Yeah, so people were, mainstream media was using his video without his permission. So he goes by Veteran for Peace.
Yeah.
Like for the number.
Veteran, I think it's FOR. Veteran for Peace.
Their Twitter handle or. Facebook?
I think that's Facebook.
Veteran for Peace, Eric Greatwood, like great.
Yep.
Awesome. And so he was having who was taking his footage? Everyone? Or
I think it was just one particular news crew, and this was like over a month ago now. He saw his footage on the news, and apparently it was images that the Portland PB had taken of his footage and submitted it to the news agency claiming it was their footage. And yeah, so he nipped that in the bud.
Oh, that's fascinating. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, so now he has a disclaimer on all of his stuff that says you are not allowed to use this without my permission. I said, I'm not popular enough. You know, I hope that it gets shared.
387 is a lot of people.
Eh.
To be fair, I mean, I don't know what, I'm not a live streamer, but
I said, it's not bad. You know, that back in the day I was getting, over 1,000, but yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks for letting me stop and
You're very
question
welcome.
you, but like
Yeah.
in an interesting way. All right.
No
stay
problem.
safe.
You too.
Putting out and restarting my clove on the ground is probably going to be a little extra spicy.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So, sorry for the side conversation, but I would like to direct your attention to the group in front of us that is not starting a fire. So, this is a good example of, protesters standing up to those who may be trying to, agitate things, and it worked out successfully.
I've always thought the fire there isn't really an agitating thing. It's just like a campfire.
I thought so too, yeah. But at this point, the feds are using any excuse to clear the crowd. So,
It's true.
try not to give them any reasons.
Oh my gosh. Being able to rest my hand across the bag like this
That nice?
and letting my back like air out, dry off. It's great. How many viewers we got at this point?
347.
Hi.
So, yeah.
What time is it?
It is 10:37. So we're now walking east on Main back towards the Justice Center. Things are still pretty peaceful, although most people have moved away from the Justice Center and are now crowded in front of the federal courthouse. Except for a few fireworks off in the distance, not pointed towards the building. Yeah, it's been extremely quiet, which is great. So I am streaming from Portland, Oregon in America. I saw someone ask what country. This is America, believe it or not. Still, yeah.
Still the United States.
Yep, as long as I have something to say about it and the rest of these out here, yeah. So that means we have international viewers. Rock on. Greetings from across the pond. Oh, yep, there we go. So they put the light projection is now on top of in front of the courthouse.
Tell me what democracy looks looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Trumpet guy, you know, so somebody asked, how's Trumpet guy doing? I actually haven't seen him yet tonight. I trust he's doing well, but I don't know.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? How you been? Doing okay. Just got Jared's live stream tonight.
Yeah. So I'm commentating, and he's my photographer. So.
Oh, nice. Good. I actually just started watching your streams like a week ago.
Yeah.
Because actually, I think you posted about hers.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, nice. They're fantastic. And you're a fellow burner, so that's always fantastic.
Heck yeah. Lots of burners out here. I love it.
Congratulations on your new drone systems, man.
Oh,
I've been following you, your new drones that you've been coming out with for a while.
new stuff? Oh, gosh.
Ooh.
It's ridiculously good.
I think as people are, pulling out their equipment and getting geared up, the pepper spray from the night before is getting lodged loose. Because I've got the sneezes now. But of course, nothing's been deployed yet. Bubbles!
I'm looking forward to
I love the bubbles.
other side of this and actually being free to go wander back in the wilderness this weekend.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know what a burner is, Burning Man is a festival, an annual festival in the Nevada desert. And it's an art and music festival. And, it's just a beautiful community that comes together. About 80,000 people internationally. I'm part of a theme camp that's been going for the last, 10 plus years. Unfortunately, Burning Man was canceled this year, but the spirit still lives on. We have quite a large burner community here. In fact, the Portland Burning Man community has been coming down every day with trucks and trailers and picking up trash from the night before. So for those of you who think burners are just a bunch of drugged out hippies, think again.
At that time, it was like all you saw was rioting and destruction, and I was like, fuck that. And that's like 13.
Oh, God. Excuse me.
At this point, I just don't know if it's the right tool to tell this story. You really need to be on the ground.
So just a reminder, don't feed the trolls. There are some people out there that just like to comment to stir the pot and, provoke a reaction from people. Just ignore them, sticks and stones. If anybody gets really bad, feel free to take a screenshot and send me a private message. And I can always go back later if I don't see them on the stream and block them. But also remember that not everybody who has a different opinion than you is necessarily a troll. We're out here fighting for everybody's First Amendment right, regardless of whether they agree with us or not. So, unfortunately, a lot of people just can't see that now, but I hope that with open dialogue and patience and respect, we can start changing people's minds.
Oh.
Again, that's about like.
So somebody asked, why don't we protest away from the federal building? A lot of people ask that. At this point, we're protesting the federal occupation of our city, and this is where they are. So, you know, their fence has become pretty symbolic for the divide between us, and so this is where the protest is. Before the feds came, we were in front of the Justice Center right across the street, protesting police brutality from our own local law enforcement. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to take the protest away from the people we're protesting. However, protests aren't solely here in front of the Justice Center. There are plenty of daytime protests all around the city in different parks. And you know, that never come down here, but like I said, this is who we're protesting. So we want to make their lives as difficult as possible and let them know that they are not wanted.
Yeah, let's not be in the same place, I guess.
So I see someone made a comment about my pinned comment. This is a good time for me to do a shout out. I am very grateful to have an amazing job, so I don't need any money at the moment. But if you are looking for a place to send your donations, my pinned comment has a list of verified organizations from a friend of mine who has been working in the nonprofit community for years. I have unfortunately removed Riot Ribs from that list because they have been compromised. If you haven't caught wind of that, Riot Ribs is a group that has been here every day for months feeding protesters. And unfortunately, about a week ago, they were forcefully removed from their own project by a couple radical members who threatened them with force and violence. So they have since requested people to stop giving them donations, and they will reorganize and return as soon as they believe it's safe to do so. Honey Pot Venmo, yeah. So somebody donated a couple porta-johns down here, and the sign says, it says public restroom. I'm not sure why the city cannot provide public restrooms, but these are open to anyone. Venmo donations to Hopes-a-lot, which is HOPES_ALOT. I will make sure to add that to my pinned list next time I come out. So people are yelling jump. There is at least one officer leaning over the balcony, looking down on us from the top of the Justice Center, or the federal courthouse, excuse me. And now that people notice him, people are yelling at him to either jump or go home. Once again, I do not promote violence in any way. I don't think that people telling him to jump is serious, but unfortunately he's too far away for me to actually see what he's doing. I think he's just observing at the moment. However, we do know that they are up there with these green lights or lasers that they use to mark people in the crowd. So for those of you who come down here to Portland or end up having to deal with this in your own hometown, just keep in mind that if a green light shines on you, you need to get out of Dodge because they're going to open fire. So my cameraman is showing off his camera to the guy he's talking with, so I apologize if it's like going all over the place. Oh, there's an announcement. So that was it. So like I said earlier, everything is 100% peaceful until the feds either make an announcement or come out and show themselves. So I didn't hear what the announcement was. However, it was probably something along the lines of, you know, please don't touch the fence.
I'm going to pay attention to is the fact that we see which way the wind is going. Always follow the bubbles. Yeah. I'm going to want to be.
Yeah, staying on the north end is always the best.
Yeah. What you really want to avoid.
So, like I said, everything's 100% peaceful until the feds make an appearance or make an announcement. I don't think that announcement was necessary since nothing was happening. But as you could see, it definitely incited a reaction out of the crowd, and it got our attention. So, and this is what I'm saying about how the feds are provoking it. You know, had they just been quiet and stayed inside all night, I don't think anything would have happened. But now that they poked the bear's going to start, going to start growling.
I don't think so. No, I know.
So, did they just say, hi, we're the Federal Protection Service and we like your cool outfits? I didn't hear what they said.
Yeah, something along. You know, it's funny how the feds can't afford a better PA system. You know, like every time they make an announcement, nobody can hear what they're saying. The Portland PB, however, man, they have that LRAD. You can hear that announcement, a mile away.
Well, that's the important thing to remember is that the police, at least in theory, are tasked with maintaining peace and enforcing law. The feds are here just to cause shit.
Yeah.
It's. I like to say it's security theater. It's the same thing you go through at the airport, only more people get hurt.
Security theater. I like that.
Security theater.
I like that.
That's why they'll come out, bring pain, and then just disappear right back in.
Yep.
And they're not. It's not mass arrests. It's not perimeters. It's not de-escalation. It's there. You just come out to make a big show of it. And that's why they don't need everybody to hear their announcements. It doesn't matter. All they need to do is have it on record. Oh, no, we gave them a warning. It doesn't matter who hears it.
They spray
So I hear some people asking if I'm press. Nope. I've had a lot of people suggest that I get my journalism credentials or my past press, but I'm not press. I try to stay as objective as possible. But I am just one of thousands of people out here every night who is exercising my freedom of speech and trying to share the experience with as many people as I can. I try to be unbiased, but obviously if I'm out here protesting, I feel very passionately about the movement and what I'm doing. So that's what separates me from a journalist. And I never claim to be one. You
guys what?
Make sure you let people know, though, to blot, don't wipe. So there was a couple people walking around handing out paper towels that have been soaked in water and either baking soda or maybe Maalox, some sort of material compound that helps with the CS gas. For those of you who don't know, I was prior military. I was a specialist in the active duty Army, and I was a chemical operations specialist. I know that sounds fancy, but yep, go for it. I'll follow you. Yep. So, you know, I know it sounds fancy, but really all it means is that I just had a lot of experience with CS gas before the feds ever came into town. You know, what we were taught in the military was you just need to air yourself out. Adding water to either your eyes or your skin is just going to exasperate it because the chemical reacts as soon as it hits moisture. So it's a very fine powder. The primary ingredient is capsaicin, which is found in hot chili peppers. And that powder gets into your pores and it attacks any moisture. So it's going to get up into your eyes and your nose, and if you're sweating, it will burn. And so adding water to your eyes will just, oh, okay, they just shot, they just shot mortars and CS gas. They just shot